the ENT class through some of my friends. Went to a ride along, took the class, and then I was kind of like, well, here I am.
Getting to meet people that you've helped previously and seeing them on the street, or they've come by the station to say hello and thank you. It's just a rewarding experience. I would do it all over.
Searching for an unforgettable summer for your child? At Old Nell's Farm, campers spend days riding horses, learning horsemanship, caring for animals, making new friends, and enjoying real farm adventures. From beginners to horse lovers, our small camps offer a fun, safe, hands-on experience they'll talk about all year. Old Nell's Farm, DeVille, Louisiana. Call 318-794-9533 to register. Spots are limited.
Hi, this is Pastor Roger L. Green Sr., pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. We're welcoming you to our worship services on Sunday morning. Sunday school begin at 8 a.m. Worship services begin at 9 a.m. Come and grow with us, a place of faith, family, and fellowship. We would love to have you. Come see us Sunday morning. We'll see you there.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening, Central Louisiana. I'm Jack, and this is Let's Talk here on Urban Cast. Tonight's conversation is powered by Acadian Ambulance, our silver sponsor of our Son-in-Law Goat and Let's Talk show. Tonight we're talking about land, home, real estate, architecture, community investment. The Mid-Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce is sponsoring a multi-part series focused on land development, real estate, and architecting. Tonight we're talking about their very first seminar, or part one. The seminar is going to take place on Thursday, June the 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 3330 Jackson Street, right here in Alexandria. Tonight we're joined by Harlan Victor, land developer and architect, Andre Gonzaque, realtor, and Marcus Hobbs, an architect. We'll discuss why this seminar matters, who should attend this seminar, and how people can begin thinking differently about property that they already own. And I'm gonna say that again, property that they already own, and they're trying to figure out what the heck they're gonna do it. We're gonna these guys, we're gonna get really basic here tonight, because I'm gonna ask some real basic questions. And so y'all just bear with me, but I'm asking these questions for my own self. If you have land, if you guys are listening to me right now, if you have land out there, inherited property, mama's old house, a vacant lot, commercial buildings, your community, this conversation is for you. Because a lot of us, you know, mom, dad passed, and we might have an old family home or whatever, and we're trying to figure out what we can do it. And these guys are going to give us some ideas of some of the things that we need to do, and all that kind of good stuff. If you're watching live and got a question, we got two architects and a realtor here. They should be able to answer the question some kind of way. Harlan, Andre, Marcus, thank y'all for joining us tonight. I'll let each one of y'all go ahead and introduce yourself. You can go ahead if you want to, Marcus, since you're in the top right-hand corner.
Well, good evening, and thank you, Jack, for inviting me to the panel here. My name is Marcus Hobbs. I'm an architect designer with VLP Design Group. A little bit background of myself. I have 15 years experience in architecture, in the field of architecture. I graduated from Southern University School of Architecture in 2006. And I've worked with various different design firms throughout my career. I have experience in residential and commercial design with various building types. And I'm just excited about the opportunity to be able to present here at the seminar coming up on June 25th. So I'm excited to be here tonight as well to answer any questions that the public may have.
All right. Watch yourself there, Andre.
Yeah, thanks for having me today, Jack. Appreciate that. My name is Andre Gonzaque from Alexandria, born and raised. Right now, I'm currently doing real estate in Baton Rouge, where me and my beautiful wife, Christina, moved out here to do start our careers and get going there. I have a finance background and an MBA as well, so I like to help educate my clients on not just real estate, but the numbers behind real estate as well. So I think that's a strong suit of mine. But I'm an agent with Rayford Realty out in New Orleans, and I'm kind of consistently one of the top producing agents in that brokerage. So if you and I end up working together, you're in great hands.
Okay.
Harlan Victor, owner of VLP Alliance Design Group. Went to Southern as well for School of Architecture and Structural Design Engineering for the engineering, more specifically for structural design. Also did some smaller just additives with design and drafting technology and School of Business. So those are my 3 parts of education as far as experience. Worked for architect firm at the beginning, 2 years, then worked for General Electric in the nuclear boiler engineering and mechanical design for 15 years. And then came back into architecture, into just doing our own business and going with that. The experience with land development, with actually starting on a subdivision and also building amongst other subdivisions around the state and around Texas and Oklahoma. So we've been definitely moving forward with just understanding and getting more about understanding doing these land developments and helping others to make sure that they can develop as well.
Okay. All right, so that means we have some talent right here in this little old place called Alexandria, Louisiana. And a lot of people always are saying we can't find the skills that we need or the folks with the various backgrounds to do certain projects, but we have them. All we got to do is open our eyes and start looking a little bit. Yeah, man. Harlan, a lot of families, and again, I'm gonna try to, as I was talking to Rick about y'all's the seminar and all that kind of good stuff, and I was trying to pull out of Rick, okay, I see where we're going. I see, and as we kept talking, it just really got to the point where, how many people we know often, have air property in various old neighborhoods around town, and they're, and here in Alexandria, let me see here how I'm gonna say this so I can say it real nice. In my career, I was responsible for, believe it or not, IT infrastructure, and I work with planning and development departments all over the world, and one of the most difficult planning and development departments that I ever had any kind of interface with was right here at home. And I hope I said that in a way that nobody don't just really jump on me. But it just seems like all over the world, people are just trying to figure out how they can, how we can get this project going, what mitigation I got to do to get it done. And because really we want that house occupied and taxes being driven, or if it's a commercial piece of property, you really want that business because that property value is up, because you got to support the streets, the grounds, and all of that kind of good stuff. But here it's like it's a little different here. But on the same token, what we want to, my questions are going to come at you guys with, if I have mama's old house, daddy's old house, what can I do it? So Harlan, a lot of families have inherited property, vacant lots, older homes. Why is it important for them to understand the value?
Okay, a lot of families are actually sitting on more than they realize just in the property that they are. A lot of times you have vacant lots, houses that mom or dad or grandpa owned before you. And it's like an asset that can be strategically sold. It could be leveraged as something, new to you, that can be utilized for something for your family as a legacy. You don't have to just let it sit there. Some people just let it sit there. Maybe it has some type of value that they want to increase on. But mostly you want to look at this as an asset value for either selling, developing, or even utilizing as a legacy property. Problem most people is that we're never taught to look at that way, so it just sits idle. It gets far less value because it's just sitting there. So understanding what you have is the first step before anyone can really just have a good decision about it. So yes, that's the biggest value about land and even the house that sits on it.
Okay. And Andre, let's talk about Mama's old house. If the family has that property, but there is no clear title. When you start doing that title, you back 2 or 3 generations. Like no succession has ever been completed. And I'm talking about multiple successions that haven't been completed. What problems can that create, and all that kind of good stuff? So tell us about why that succession is important, and tell us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Without a succession completed, which a succession is where the property is properly passed down to the heirs of the person that originally owns it before they pass. You don't do that, then you can't sell it, can't renovate it, can't build on it, can't do anything with it. And that's what we really need to understand. So when it comes to a point where maybe an older family member has land and whatnot, or property that's ready to be passed down, get yourself an attorney, complete a succession. They're not that expensive, and make sure that we have those tools in place so that we can start passing down these opportunities to our family members. That's how we create generational wealth. A lot of us lose these opportunities because we're not aware of this, right? So that's the most important part, is to get that succession completed so that you can develop the land that you're sitting on, and like Harlan mentioned, into these different types of opportunities.
And what you mean here is that piece of land that you actually have, that piece of land has value to it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and real value to it. Just yesterday at the Alexandria City Council meeting, there were multiple people who had property, and the city had condemned the property and forcing them to, to tear it down. And, and you could see it in several of the folks as they were pleading to the council to give them extra time to do whatever they needed, because they knew that lien is that first step, against that property, where it's almost from a financial standpoint, is something, whereas here there's no payment plan. You got to pay it all or nothing. And so, and that whole process, it was depressing to be in the city council meeting on yesterday to see these families losing this real value that they potentially to lose the real value that they actually had in their possession. Marcus, some people may look at an old house or an empty lot and see a burden. How can this seminar that y'all planning to have, how is it going to help them to see the possibilities that they can have? How are y'all going to convey that to the folk who participate in the program?
Well, I think the main thing will be through educating them, telling them that that there is possibilities for your property, no matter how condemned your house can be. That there are possibilities through working through designing the home that you would love on that property, or even if it's a business. What we want to convey is that you can develop this land no matter which area it's in. No property is not, every property can be developed. So our job is just to encourage the property owner that this property can be developed, and we can definitely beautify it as much as possible. Design, the possibilities are endless, basically. So that's, I would say that would be the biggest thing we would want to convey to the property owners is that if you're trying to build a house, we can, definitely, the design is endless. The possibilities are endless as far as designing on the property.
Okay. And Harlan, your focus area is land development right now, and what should people understand about the land before they decide to do something with it?
So a lot of times, people, and that's one emphasis I definitely want us to put on is where and what you buy, specifically, because you know, a lot of people choose land and, hey, I got this property, a whole bunch of trees on it. Well, you want to start off with how you're going to handle, taking the trees down, because you have to have the flat land to do what you need to do to put the structure on there. But also what comes with that process. It's a lot comes with that process. It's not just purchasing property and just tearing down trees. There are a lot of different protections of trees and properties and utilities and hidden things underground. And so that's where we come in with the structural, civil, the studies, the feasibility study, just to tell you if that land is even worth purchasing. These are the things that us three all come together as one team, actually specifically for that reason, to advise you even before you purchase your property. And I would say if you're buying a new piece of land, you would want to get some consultation between these three different fields of work, because we will help you not waste your investment on something if you don't own one and you're trying to own one. If you do own one, we'll try to help you with the property you have currently.
And if someone owns the land but doesn't know what to do with it, Harlan, whether to build, sell, hold, partner with someone, what questions should they be asking right now, in their own mind?
I believe the first question you should ask is what I want to do with that property. That's the first thing. What do I want this structure to look like? Is it going to be a house? If it's zoned for residential, if it's zoned for commercial, hey, what do I want to do that? If you're trying to rezone, those are things that you want to first find out. What is the function of what that property will be when you first start? Because that's going to guide the entire project, because that's a category in how you're establishing either your business or your place of live, where you'll be living. Or it may just be a place of you want to sell. So that's the first question you want to ask yourself. What am I using this property for?
And a lot of the talk right now is about economic development and all of this kind of good stuff. How does land development connect with the larger community as it relates to economic development?
Well, I believe land development is probably the foundation structure for everything. To be honest, if you have infrastructure, it helps with developing the rest of the community as well, because that puts the small businesses in there, put the municipality buildings in there, your residents, your houses, your rentals, your apartments. So land development, I believe, is if not the foundation of developing anything for an economic development purpose. That you can get these businesses and get the tourism and the people and the infrastructure in there.
And why do you think it's important for the residents here to understand what's happening around them before property values begin to change? I'm sitting over here, in let's just say, let's get real. I'm in the Sonia quarters, and I'm seeing this talk about economic development down on Masonic, and eventually Masonic dumps right into Lee, dumps into Bolton, and I'm sitting on a piece of property, maybe mom or daddy that said, I'm thinking about selling it. And why is it important for, in other words, we see all of this stuff going on, and I may go from one day piece of property being 20,000, the next day it's 100,000 or something like that. Right. Talk to me about that.
So this is that we need to develop our communities in more in more having that education first and being able to know how to develop your community together. The more residents who are able to come to, put together a plan for each other, for the community itself, because it starts with that meeting. You want to have that meeting to know what strengths do you have already and what parts of the community that need more strengthening, that need strengthening for the infrastructure they have. So that, let's say just in an area that, parks or schools or things like that, we know that improving these things improves the quality of life.
That's right.
And quality of life is extremely important in economic development, because if the morale is good, the neighborhood looks clean, people feel safe, people feel more inclusive, and the more activities that go around it with the infrastructure that we have, it gives more people, the willingness to go spend their money, to go invest in their communities, to do more to build larger environments. So it's like a growing flower process that first investing in your community and just understanding your values and what your needs within that space in that community itself. So yeah, that what helps with connecting to a larger community growth.
And Andre, your area is that real estate. What should people know about residential and commercial property as it relates to neighborhoods and things of that nature?
Well, residential and commercial property is more than just what you have and what you live in and where your business sits. I mean, there can be developments like Harlan mentioned where a data center comes, right? And then now your property is doubled in value because they want that, right? But if you hold that, then that's more economically beneficial for you. So for me, it's helping people understand that holding on to property is way more valuable than just selling it, because it could be worth way more in the future due to new schools popping up or new grocery stores or things like that. Hospitals and whatnot are going to be popping up too. I mean, there's going to be different various types of economic development going on that can increase the property value that you hold. So I know sometimes it's easier to, well, this home is dilapidated a little bit, grandma's house, I don't really know what to do with it. Let me just list it. Let me just sell it. Hold on to that. Maybe you and partner up with some family, fix it up, and you rent it out. And now you got a cash flowing asset that you're sitting on. So there's different ways to think about real estate versus just, I don't know what to do, let me get rid of it.
How can someone, Andre, find out what is allowed on their property? I want to put a barbershop. I'm buttoned up right against something. Commercial. I'm in residential, or I just want to be legal and have a little barbershop in the backyard or whatever. How can I find? How can I go find out what zoning allows in most municipalities?
Yeah, you can check with the city to get the zoning ordinances, or you can check with a realtor. We have that access. We have that database at the access of our fingertips, so we can help you see exactly what your property is zoned for or what it's not zoned for. And you definitely don't want to operate illegally and get your assets seized and things like that. So it's always best to check with a professional, call the city up. It's a little old school, but hey, it works. That the information is at your disposal, but I'm gonna say contact me. That's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, you can definitely find this stuff out in the city.
Yeah. Okay. And why do why do we have these zoning and land use and neighborhood planning processes? It just seems like a bunch of headache to me. People want to control you. Why do we have this kind of stuff?
Zoning, these regulations help with first mapping areas of where you need to be. In the end, strategically, you need to know where your residents are. You don't want to put you don't want to put some unusual commercial building right in the middle of a residential area that it serves no purpose. You wouldn't want to put you want to put a chemical plant by residents, but that happens a lot around the area too. But that's again, a lot of that is based upon the function of that community. And even at that, there are regulations, even let's say chemical plant, even there's regulations to make sure that atmospheres aren't being contaminated and things like that, even though there's some quality of life that could change within there when it comes to more industrial styles of stuff. But they do their best. I'll say they do their best to try to regulate what happens and how that affects the residential area. But you want those zoning parts are to help map functions of communities and spaces so that it won't interfere in the wrong aspect of value of that community or space as well. So you need these things, you need these regulations to make sure that first it protects the person or the resident, and it also protects the business that is there. Because again, you do not want these two things clashing. You do not want anything harmful toward the residents. You do not want anything that will cause a commercial business to go down due to certain communities and certain types of things. I'm not saying communities bad, it's just how they relate. And so you need these regulations to protect both parties and also just to protect the integrity of the city.
Okay. And for those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're live here talking with Harlan, Andre, and Marcus, and we're talking about an upcoming seminar that they have coming up to talk to folk about what to do with property that they might have already, and and keeping it and hanging on to it, and what they can do with it, and all that kind of good stuff. But they're also going to talking about if you want to acquire stuff, and what are the steps that you need to go through to get that done. The event is coming up here on. It's being sponsored by the Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce, and it takes place Thursday, June the 25th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 3330 Jackson Avenue. Marcus, your area of architect is when someone. Your area is in architecture. And when someone owns an older home specifically, how do they know whether to renovate it, redesign it, or start over? Just say, I'm just going to knock it on down and start all the way over.
Well, the first step is to actually do a full inspection of the existing home to see whether it needs to be renovated, torn down, or completely rebuilt. I mean, the main two areas that you want to check first would be the foundation, to make sure the foundation is right. If the foundation has been compromised or not intact, then that'll be the first real indication that you will have to definitely demo it. This is just according to how bad the foundation has been compromised. Also, the roof is another big structure that we have to check as well. So those two areas right off the bat would be, if those areas are compromised, then we generally would say, is it really worth renovating? Just demoing and starting over would be the biggest areas. But the first and foremost area is to do an inspection of the existing home.
Okay. And if you were thinking about increasing the value of your home, you have a home is structurally sound. What are some tidbits and pointers that you could say, before I get ready to go get it appraised or whatever? What are some of the things that I can do to increase the value of it?
Okay. Well, I would say some simple items you could do is put in a fresh coat of paint on the exterior of the home, on the interior of the home, enhancing and improving the lighting. That always helps a lot to increase the value as well. On the exterior, again, like I said, aesthetically, doing landscaping the home, having a nice patio on the backside, cleaning, and also making sure that the roof is intact as well. So you have to possibly remove shingles and do a whole new roof. That also helps a whole lot.
Mhm.
Again, I would say making sure the foundation is intact all the way is always important. And from there, you can definitely do some simple things like that to ensure that the home is value is increasing.
Mhm. Right. And Harlan, when residents improve homes, uh, it generally supports the local businesses, and you are reinvesting in your property. How does that, in your opinion, impact the entire neighborhood around you, man?
And we're going back to that revisiting quality of life.
Right.
You help. It's kind of like if you drive in two different spaces and you look at two different stores or two different places, and you go inside and you see organization and cleanliness and things like that. You much rather shop at that store than a store that has boxes sitting on the floor and things are going here and things that just don't look organized.
Mm-hmm.
Quality of not just quality of life, but quality of your community helps with just giving an aesthetic for yourself. And it's almost like a self-satisfying thing as well to be able to step outside and everybody's grass or lawn cut, or everybody's houses are painted and the roofs are fixed and nothing's sitting out on the side of the yard and everything looks clean. You just feel a sense of satisfaction. That's one thing I think on the personal side, but on the community side, the value of those homes, the value of the property, the value of what you have is proven and is shown there. And so when you're trying to resell, it's easy to resell your home. It's easy to get more investments in the community that's surrounding it from neighborhoods or different stores that are coming out from out of state or different places. They probably want to build around that neighborhood or residential area, which will help you with the community development side of it, of having to develop these type of things that you may need in that community. So cleanliness and quality of your community really does help with developing more. So yes.
Right. And Marcus, you said earlier, figuring out a way to create a new stream of income and that kind of thing. And you kind of put some emphasis on keeping family property and hanging on to it. Why should people think twice before giving up family property? Hey, Marcus, could you mute again if you don't mind, man? All right, there you go. Why do you think they should think twice, Andre?
Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of piggyback off of what Marcus and Harlan said, you have an opportunity where you're sitting on some property. Let's talk about a residential home for matters. So like I mentioned earlier, you give it a little bit of TLC, fix it up a little bit, and you rent it out. And now you're generating income passively without having to work for it. Or if you have some property that's, for example, I have a listing on Lee Street right now. It's mixed use, residential and commercial property. So you could build yourself a house, and then, like you said, you can start a barbershop right there on the same piece of property. So not are you just living there and that's your residence, but you're also earning income there too. So these are things to think about before you just say, you know what, let me wash my hands with it, let me sell it, let me get rid of it, because you can create your own opportunities with that property. Real estate is very, very powerful. And I can't wait to educate people on that.
Right. And Andre, I asked that question again because I really, I think a lot of people, sometimes people say, I just want to get rid of the headache. And I really think that's a headache. It ain't as big of a headache as you think it is, especially when maybe things in the works, and it could be that generational wealth or that transfer of wealth from those older generations directly on into you if you just do your research. Keep it at a point where you can keep it going and things of that nature.
That's right.
Yeah. Marcus, what do you say again about someone who feels like their neighborhood has been overlooked, undervalued for years?
Well, I would just say that again, that there's always possibilities with when you're talking about land development and what you can do with that land. It's very powerful when you own land. You have a powerful asset. And so I guess my thing would be that you can certainly utilize that land for anything like a commercial business or a residential home, or the possibilities are endless as far as what you can put on the land. And so that would be, as far as with the seminar is concerned, that would be one of the biggest points I would want to make to, like, what you want to put on the land. You know, if you have from 1 acre to less than 1 acre to almost 15 or 16 acres, you can do so much with that land. So I believe it's just a mindset. It's just having that mindset that what you can actually do, the possibilities of what you can do with the land. I think sometimes people get caught up of being in a certain area, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, no matter what area you're in, there's endless possibilities. So that would be my encouragement to a lot of landowners that are thinking about putting a home or a business. I would say, yes, you can definitely do that. You definitely keep your eye on the ball as far as putting certain structures on certain lands. So that would be my biggest encouragement.
And this question here is for any of you guys, y'all can add in. How can residents begin seeing themselves as a part of the development process, or just as opposed to just watching all of this stuff take place around them and they're not a part of it? How can I don't know a dang on thing about this stuff. How can I learn, and where do I need to go to immerse myself into this stuff?
I say,
Y'all trying to start
Go ahead,
go ahead, Marcus. You got it, man. First.
Okay, well, I think, Jack, I would believe it comes down to education for people, having workshops to explain to landowners that, okay, you can be a part of the process. You just may need the education of how to begin the process. I believe that those, having people engaged, and that'll make them want to develop on the land. That'll make them want to, like, okay, now they see the possibilities, what could happen. So I believe it starts with, educational workshops like we're going to have next week. I think that's going to be very, very vital to a lot of landowners that are wanting to develop here.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that real quick. I believe, again, education is important. I want to help people understand that, investing in home is how you also help develop home as well. Let's put our money back into the community. Let's purchase some investment properties, such as residential or commercial, so that we can start doing these and the developments, and it all stays in the community, opposed to letting outside investors come in and price us out. And then we wonder why we don't own anything. So I think that's huge.
And all in all, with all that being said, is educating them how to get that capital, how to get to the point of being able to purchase a property. Because a lot of the end all be all is, I don't have the money. So we're there to guide you through not only how to develop it, but how to get the capital, and having capital partners, bankers, lenders, people who can help you or guide you to that. There are 100% financing out there. There are different assisted programs for people who have lower incomes, who's part of the workforce, part of the military, who's part of essential workers, or any type of those type of help, public service. So there are so many different avenues in helping you get the investment money you need, or at least coaching you into getting able to afford to get that. So it's a process again, and that's where all of this happens with the seminars. Come out to the town hall meetings, because they'll tell you about the community every day, whether it's crime or whether it's housing, new developments, and of course, like the big news with the Applied Digital, data center. Though that's one part into a larger story. And so everyone, I would encourage, especially now, everyone to be able to utilize what they have now and be able to use that as an investment or for sale or development. So yes, come to those seminars, come to those town hall meetings, and just read. Sometimes just go out there and research. Hey, what's going on in my community with as far as development is concerned? You will find the answer. So all of that is encouraging to be able to do this and help our communities develop within and develop around the city and the parish.
Well, fellas, I again, the one thing, that we are stressing here, if you don't know something, it's okay not to know something. And programs like this one, is what is the cost for me to come in and listen to you guys? Nothing. Is you guys posted over here, and you just want to say, hey people, if you got some property, here's some of the things that you might want to be looking at doing it. So the thing is, if you don't know something, always just start asking. The only thing somebody can ever just tell you, no, I ain't gonna tell you. Just go to the next person. Somebody gonna be willing to tell you something,
Right.
Yeah. And from a mental standpoint, what do you think when a person coming in that door, if you be like me, coming in that door and you just don't know a damn thing about what y'all getting ready to talk about, what mental state should I be in, fellas?
I'll say in a pure learning state.
Okay, pure learning state.
Open-minded. No question is a dumb question. Whatever you have to ask, we're here to answer. That's why we're here in our professions, to help, collaborate, to help you be able to answer those questions, as we are all working in basically the three most important fields of development of this entire thing for you to get this. So everybody has a part in this process, and we want to be sure to help you have a clear mind first, and two, to be able to educate you in moving forward with that process, especially if you were right on the fence and you're like, I really don't know if I need to spend this money or not. We're going to tell you yes or no if that's a good idea for that property you may have. So we're going to advise you, and you push forward to that decision that you need to do with a clear mind.
Okay.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention that there's certain properties that are deemed historical properties as well. So with that being said, if it's a historic property, you have access to tax credits. The property owner may have access to tax credits that they may not even know about. So that's another part of what we would want to discuss at the seminar, as far as certain properties may have tax credits attached to them. And so we want to make sure that, that is being discussed as well. So.
Yeah, and I want to touch on, obviously, learning how to not only purchase a property, rather it be residential or commercial, but I want people to come in with just a learning spirit, and don't be shy, ask as many questions as you like to ask. And then at the end of it, feel free to pull one of us three to the side, have a one-on-one. I know some people are more on the introverted side, not, as some of us are a little bit more shy than others. I get that. But, like you said, Jack, I want everybody to just ask every question that they possibly can. Do the research if you want to as well. But education is what's most important about this seminar. So that's what we want to bring.
Yeah. And in the age range, are y'all looking at the older folk? Or if I'm 18 years old, can I come walking off up in there on if I'm out of school, I just want to come out here and be nosy. These two guys here say they're architects, another one real estate with an MBA and all this here kind of good stuff. I just want to come here and pick their mind. Let me see what college I need to go to or whatever. Tell me, is it open to everyone, or is it limited, or what have you?
It is definitely open to everyone. We want you to learn. I say the 18-year-old, I think that's even better, because now they can see and at least witness, because we may be the three professionals that are speaking, but I'm pretty sure there are going to be other professionals in the space that can also give more information if needed. So, I would say, hey, look, if you're 18, come on up there too. If you want to learn, be a young developer that may be coming up and choose to be in urban planning in college.
Yeah.
And they come back and they're able to plan an entire city city basis of a master plan. So, I say everyone should be able to come in and just, if you're just willing to learn and just want to listen in, and just like I said, there are going to be other professionals in there. So they may have some information that you might say, hey, hold up, let me talk to you as well. So I encourage everyone to come out there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would say the youth are our investment back into the community as well as three professionals. That is, we pour into our youth. We want them to do exactly what we're presenting about, and that's the best way is for them to come in, be nosy, ask questions. I mean, there might be a future realtor in there, might be a future architect or a future developer in there. You just never know. But all ages are welcome and encouraged to come. Absolutely.
I like your word, Andre, when you say be nosy. Keep it real, man. If you want to, let's not beat across the book. If you want to know, come on out here and get this information.
That's right.
What are y'all going to be? So what are each one of y'all going to be covering during this first series? I'm nosy now. You see, I'm trying to get into it. I want to know what y'all who gonna do what, and give us a quick rundown. You don't have to tell us because we're going to the 2-hour seminar. So just
so
right.
First things first is this is part one.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to just overload you with information. We want to guide you through this process. You're going to be everybody going to get on this train. We're going to head out, get aboard, and we're going to all learn together. Because again, like I said, we're three professionals and we're always still willing to learn. So there may be some professionals out there just listening in and chiming in and maybe help out with the information that we have as well. Mm-hmm. So I would say, this is a part one series of probably 4 to 5 sessions. And my side is land development with collaborating with Marcus in the architectural and development world. So that will be my part in teaching land development and how to start your process and what to do and how to grab all these things before you even begin, and then taking you through the process till you close on whatever structure you put on your property.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll touch on the real estate basics, learning how to purchase property, also how to get with the real estate agent to talk about your ideas and your development that you want to do. And we can talk about the commercial space as well. So and then investment properties on the residential side, rentals, things like that. So we're keeping it like Harlan said, it's a multi-series seminar, but we'll keep it basic but informational enough where they can take away a lot of things and ponder on those things and come back to the second phase and have more questions and be more involved. So,
and I'll be touching on the different phases of architecture, like from basically, I know the first phase is you go through land development and then the real estate part, but also just the design process of and what you're wanting to put on your property. I'll be basically touching on those items and how what actually will work on your property versus what will not work on it, and just this is basically going through the whole design process of how architecture works.
And you guys are asking folk to RSVP. Can one of y'all tell us what we need to do to RSVP for the information to the seminar?
You can look on the Mid-Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce website, Facebook page. They will have a link there. We will be posting the flyer until the event, and there's a QR code that you can go in. It will take you to the Mid-Louisiana Chamber of Commerce website to register. Just because we know it could be limited seating up to the point of, if let's say 100 people come, we might have to look at more, 1, 2, 3, whatever. You might have 500 people decide to say, "Hey, I want to develop." So we want you to be sure to RSVP so we will know how to handle this situation when it happens. So capacity, yes, please register based on the QR code or go to the Mid-Louisiana Chamber of Commerce website.
Okay. And before we close, what's the main message you guys want people to take away tonight?
Where do you want to start?
That's a great question. I was going to let Marcus.
Y'all had a time, fellas.
I'll go first. Yeah. The main message from this interview tonight would be for people to understand that there is, to have a mindset change, that there is possibilities of what you can do with, like I said, with your property. Like I said, owning your own property is such a powerful asset in today's world, and so you already have a great asset. You just need the extra step of getting something put on the property. So we would want to be the next step for you in order to help you put something really nice on the property, a home or a business. So we just basically tonight is just, we want to encourage folks to come out to the seminar, and we definitely want to be able to educate them on the possibilities of what they can do on their individual properties.
Yeah, for me, consultation is huge, because it's essentially what we are as real estate agents, is consultants. We're consulting you on your next purchase, sale, or investment on the residential and commercial side. So I just want to have people be open and think about, grab my business card, grab my contact, want to do coffee, want to do lunch. I just want to be that resource to people and guide them through these, next stages in their development, opportunity. So yeah, that's huge for me.
And just this is would agree in both of these guys, is that in the end, we're trying to help the community invest back into themselves. Community development is the centerpiece for helping enriching the people that are already there, educating the people that are already trying to find out how to monetize what they have already, as far as their properties, and just helping them to understand the value of what they have right there sitting on every day. And it could have been generations that have passed, but we want them to understand that, first of all, not only what they sit on is value, but themselves, their minds, their thought process, their ideas of how to utilize their property is also an asset and value within themselves. So with more community development helps a better community establishment, which helps the city grow, helps the city thrive more, and it helps the health of the city to get better. So this is our goal, to encourage and educate our people in doing these things, and start going out there and investing more into what they have.
Okay. Well, Harlan, Andre, and Marcus, if you could hit that mute button again, man. Yeah, I think Marcus was Harlan, Andre, and Marcus. Thank you for joining us tonight. Honestly, fellas, this conversation is more than just about that land that a whole lot of us out here may have, that house, that building, something that a family member left us. It's about understanding the value. And that's the key thing, is understanding the value, protecting the family's property, and learning how investing in that really helps everybody around us. This seminar is going to take place on Thursday, June the 25th, from 11 a.m. To 1 p.m. at 3330 Jackson Street, right here in Alexandria. The event is being sponsored by the Mid-Louisiana Regional Chamber of Commerce, and it will focus on land development, real estate, and architecture. If you own property, you've inherited property, that vacant lot, an older home, or just simply, you're thinking you want to go dab into this stuff, this seminar might help you with that thought process. A special thank you to our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, whose support helps UrbanCast bring important community conversations to Central Louisiana. I'm Jack, and this has been Let's Talk here on UrbanCast. Fellas, if y'all could just hang in there 1 second, I greatly appreciate it. And before I get, I'm gonna throw this up there right quick. LaRonda Catrice said, "Great job."
Thank you, LaRonda.
Thank you.
I heard about the EMT class through some of my friends. Went to a ride along, took the class, and then I was kind of like, well, here I am.
Getting to meet people that you've helped previously and seeing them on the street, or they've come by the station to say hello and thank you. It's just a rewarding experience. I would do it all over.
Searching for an unforgettable summer for your child? At Old Nell's Farm, campers spend days riding horses, learning horsemanship, caring for animals, making new friends, and enjoying real farm adventures. From beginners to horse lovers, our small camps offer a fun, safe, hands-on experience they'll talk about all year. Old Nell's Farm, DeVille, Louisiana. Call 318-794-9533 to register. Spots are limited.
Hi, this is Pastor Roger L. Green Sr., pastor of the Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church. We're welcoming you to our worship services on Sunday morning. Sunday school begin at 8 a.m. Worship services begin at 9 a.m. Come and grow with us, a place of faith, family, and fellowship. We would love to have you. Come see us Sunday morning. We'll see you there.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.